The Fury of Firestorm number 20, written and art by Dan Jurgens. So, last issue, Firestorm got knocked on his ass because of Plastique and the whole gang of rogues. And we see this issue open up with Eiling and a whole bunch of computer screens. All the soldiers are around, just like, all right, this footage is 3 minutes old. Why aren't we there yet? Where's my man on the ground? And this one soldier comes up saying, sir, you have a visitor? And Eiling's like, not now, clearly. He's like, I don't think he's going to wait. So then back at the scene, Tanya and Jason's dad have dragged Firestorm into a back alley, and Jason's unable to actually speak to them, but he's telling them, like, run, you idiots, you are not safe here. And of course at that point Hyena jumps out saying, like, good, my prey rarely corners itself. So he goes after Jason and Tanya when a mysterious shadowy figure comes out and grabs Hyena by the arm and throws him into a street lamp, which seemingly shatters his spine. And at that point Ronnie gets up and he's like, okay, I'm doing all right. Who's our new friend? And it turns out that this is Major Force, who I believe was last seen in the pages of, like, Voodoo, if I'm remembering correctly. But he basically gives the breakdown of, like, yeah, hey, we were keeping an eye on you. I represent all of the military branches. I come from Eiling. And Firestorm's like, okay, well, we kind of had the not really trustworthy thing going on there. But, like, yeah, if you're willing to help, all the better. So at that point, Killer Frost comes and attacks, and Firestorm's like, oh, don't mess with her. She's no joke. And Major Force is like, are you kidding me? And he just starts punching through the ice. So the soldier's still telling Eiling he needs to pay attention to the visitor that came in, and Eiling's like, nobody even knows. This is a secure facility. Who in the hell could be here? And all of a sudden, the vault door just flies off, and a fist is coming in, like saying, oh no, I know you're here. So then back at the fight, Major Force is fighting Multiplex, Killer Frost, and I forget his name, Black Bison, I think. And he tells him, hey, look, you said there was a hostage over there. Go deal with the hostage. I can handle these numbskulls. So Firestorm goes over to Plastique, but is interrupted by a tidal wave caused by Typhoon. It's too many water things. And he's dragged down to, like, the bottom of the sea floor where Typhoon starts beating the crap out of him. And Ronnie's like, okay, like, I'm pissed off enough already. I'm just going to boil his ass. So he immediately throws up his fire powers, causes Typhoon to go flying, pops out of the water, and he's like, hey, Plastique, let's go. You're going to let her go right now. So then we see who wanted Eiling. Turns out it's Superman, along with Professor Stein, who is actually alive at this point. Anyway, over at the fight, Firestorm's just like, okay, how am I going to get my mom out? And Jason's like, oh, well, maybe pretend like you're flying away and then circle back around and grab her. And Ronnie's like, I don't think it's going to be necessary, as Jason's dad comes up and just whacks Plastique in the head with a piece of wood, and it just knocks her out, and that's enough to save Ronnie's mom. And at that point, they have a brief little conversation, and Ronnie's mom just like, oh, I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to this craziness, but I know you have to do what you have to do. And they hug each other, and Ronnie goes back to help Major Force in the fight. So at that point, Major Force is taken out because Big Bison used his mystical abilities to put him in a trance, and then Killer Frost froze him. And they're all discussing, like, okay, so, like, are we still here to kill Firestorm? Like, what's going on here? And Multiplex is like, no, we're here to capture him. Just capture. But then Firestorm comes in, frees Major Force. Big Bison tries the same move again, and Bison just punches him out. Firestorm goes in for Killer Frost and traps her in the concrete by opening a hole and then closing it again. And so Multiplex is the only one left. He's also the only one who knows the secret identity, and he's even like, oh, you better not do anything, because if I get out of this, like, I'm gonna blab, I'm gonna tell all about you. And so Ronnie's like, maybe we should kill him. Maybe like that sounds like a decent idea at this point. And at that point, Multiplex is like, okay, well, here's the thing. The real me is several blocks away. These are all just, like, clones, so you don't have a chance anyway. Go back to your family, and they'll be safe for now. Firestorm's like, I will get you, Multiplex, as he disappears. So at that point, Major Force is like, hey, man, we're totally cool. Like, I've called for an apprehension team. We're going to pick up all the guys. And, hey, I know that the government's been on your tail. don't worry about it. We've come to an agreement. They're not coming after you anymore. By the way, I am a big fan of yours. Could I get a picture with you? And Ronnie's like, oh yeah, that seems all really convenient. Sure, let's get a picture. And Jason's like, it seemed a little. I wouldn't take that picture, Ronnie. And he's like, it's no big deal. So Major Force takes a picture. Turns out it's basically a neuralizer, and it knocks out Ronnie. And so Jason also goes unconscious. And when they both come to, they are back in Eiling's compound with Major Force, Superman, and Professor Stein there. And Superman's like, Eiling, you can't just lock up superheroes. And it's like, he's still an American citizen. Eiling's like, I can do it. I'll lock you up too, you freak. And Stein says, look, he's too complicated. Like, he's for a bigger purpose that even you don't understand. He's not to be used for the military. And that's why I contacted the Justice League. And at that point, Jason's like, oh my God, Stein's alive? What? Turns out he faked his death and he was working in solitude, but he had to come out in order to save Firestorm's life. So Major Force gets in Superman's face. Superman literally just flicks him and he goes flying through concrete walls. And Stein's like, all right, well, I feel like that makes that point. Hey, whoever is in there, wink, because he definitely knows it's Jason in there. And it's like, you'll get your answers. Just go with Superman right now. And Superman's like, yeah, no, it's nice to meet you, Firestorm. Here's the thing. I have some friends I'd like you to meet. And Firestorm's like, oh, what sort of friends? And he's like, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman. And he's like, oh my God, are you asking me to be in the Justice League? He's like, oh, I'm asking you to come up and just talk to them right now. There's a lot of big things going on and we think you could be an asset to us. And he's like, absolutely. By the way, do we have secret handshakes and membership cards? And Superman's like, okay, quick. How old are you, Firestorm? For real? And then it's, just the beginning. So I liked it. I think it was a nice little wrap up. It all really came down to the page where both Ronnie's mom and Jason's dad just took the time to say, look, we get it. You're a superhero. This is going to be dangerous, but we still approve of it. That felt like the only thing in this issue that made it feel like a final issue. Obviously, the mom's always been there, the dad's always been there, but they never really interacted with the Firestorm stuff. Now that they've both been put in harm's way, it would have been easy for them to say, no, how dare you be Firestorm? It's too dangerous, Ronnie. But, they took the time. They said, yeah, no, I'm proud of you. You do what you need to do. So, I like that as an ending. As for just leading it directly into Justice League, fine. Obviously he is in Justice League, so I'm not hard pressed to yeah, sure, just make that transition here. May as well be. But it does kind of take away the punch of the final issue when it's, oh, but the adventure continues just over there, probably for $1 more per issue. So overall, also, I forgot to mention, there's this bit where Ronnie and Jason come to terms of maybe we are a pretty good team and we can work together. Again, that made it feel like final issue sort of territory. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 7.5. And it's also, part of that's because I like Major Force just as a character. He's just fun. He's a fun character to have around. He's over the top and I love him for it. So 7.5. Firestorm was all throughout, but it was never that bad.